Good morning, everyone. We will begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama for protection and the permission to participate today in the divine plan of constructing paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. 高天原にかむずまります。かむろぎかむろみのみこともちで、すめみおやかむいざなぎのみこと、つくしのひむかのたち花の、ほどのあぎはらにみそぎはらいたも時になりません。パライドの狼たちもろもろのまがこと罪汚れを洗いたまえ清めたまえとまおすことのよしを天つかみ国つかみやおよろずの神たちともに雨の内駒の耳振り立ててぎこしめせとかしこみもまおす弥勒を三神守りたまえ先あえたまえ弥勒を三神守りたまえ先あえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先あえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先あえたまえくながらあまちはえませかながらあまちはえませ Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
May God and mercy, Lord bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Righteousness. Since olden times, those who have stood for justice and righteousness have met with obstacles created by the dark forces. We will fight with all our might, for as long as we live, the snares and malice of the dark forces which seek to destroy the world. We are not afraid of criticism directed toward us or malice spoken against us, for we are armed with God's sword, which can destroy all evil. Since our group is spreading God's light to the world, the dark forces are watching each of us for the moments when we are off guard. As the time for the great transition is becoming more imminent, the desperate activity of these evil spirits is growing. Although we speak of them collectively, evil spirits vary in power and importance. The more clouded human beings are, the more easily dark forces can come through negative spiritual cords and manipulate them. Thus, without being aware of what they are doing, humans begin to interfere in God's work. For thousands of years, the dark forces have been acting as they wished, and they are still committing evil deeds, thinking they can continue to do so as in the past, because they do not know that the great turning point is coming in the spiritual world. In the spiritual realm, the forces of darkness do everything they can to keep us from receiving the light. Light is what dark forces fear most. And as the spiritual day advances and the light becomes more intense, the age of terror for them is coming. This is because no evil can withstand the power of God's light, which will weaken and destroy it.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters morning service. We also for keep directing your prayers towards world peace, towards the victims of wars and natural disasters. This morning, I want to share with you the faith experience of Vicenta Quispe Bravo from Jaú, São Paulo. Vicente is Peruvian and has lived in Brazil for 13 years. He has three children. The middle son, currently 16 years old, the age of 3, was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Constantly experienced convulsions, was highly sensitive to noisy and crowded places, and had bouts of agitation, present restricted verbal communication. Since his diagnosis, Vicenta has been looking for ways for him to have a better cognitive and psychological development. Because of that, she and family moved to Brazil because there the conditions were more favorable. She suffered from insomnia, largely because of worrying about her son. In 2019, she was passing in front of a Johrei center and, out of curiosity, decided to visit it. She was received by a lay leader who channeled her Johrei and briefly explained about our church. Although she found it interesting, she did not return. Who is in search of knowledge, Vicenta watched several lectures, films, and documentaries about autism. In one of the lectures, she heard about the importance of caring for ancestors and seeking the path of spirituality. That caught her attention, and she remembered about Johrei in our movement that she had known years before. Therefore, in July of 2022, she looked for the Johrei Center and was attended by a missionary who channeled her Johrei and then explained to her about our doctrine. When she heard matters about the spiritual world, she understood that God and the ancestors had taken her back to the Johrei Center. Everything she was looking for was there, containing the teachings of Meishu-sama. From that moment on, it was clear to her the spiritual path she had to follow. Consequently, she began to daily attend our church and to study the teachings of Meishu-sama. The center's minister advised her to bring her children to receive Johrei and to pray for her family lines. It was emphasized that children receive direct influence from the merits and spiritual debts accumulated by their parents. After the beginning of the suggested practices, changes in her life began to happen. She slept better, her son's seizures were less frequent and less intense, become a calmer child. Vicenta could understand that she had a mission to accomplish and committed herself to give service through the channeling of Johrei, expanding the light of God to those who needed it. Consequently, she and her two youngest children were allowed to receive the Ohikari Sacred Point in November of last year. Today, her son easily interacts with people. He's not disturbed in noisy and agitated places. His cognitive development has advanced significantly, and he communicates better through his speech. He's active in the activities of the youth group, participates in distribution of mini flower arrangements, and regularly channels Johrei. Vicente understood there is no point in seeking a solution to problems solely through material means. The path of evolution is in the spirit, and the best means she found were through the practices of our faith. She feels very thankful to God and Meishu-sama as well as to her ancestors for allowing her to change her fate and that of her family. Now her goal is to make a paradise-like atmosphere to come true in the homes of many people. Thank you very much for attending this morning service, for listening to this beautiful faith experience. Wish you a most wonderful day.
And this brings to a conclusion our morning service. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wish you a very blessed day.